everyone, this is RadTechShoe, and I have another Battleborn character review for you. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at Miko. We're going to be looking at the Eldrid healer himself. We're going to be going over his skill loadout, his basic helix setup, his lore and backstory, and some tips and tricks I have found to maximize Miko's potential on the battlefield, both in an offensive and in a supporting role. So let's get right into it with his skill loadout. His first skill is Biosynthesis. Miko will clap his hands together, and for the next 5 seconds after you activate it, Miko will regen his own health, and during that 5-second time frame, Miko's healing beam will heal an additional 50% health to allies. Very good, very useful ability, and we can augment that to be even more effective on ourselves and on our allies. We'll go over that in the Helix loadout later in the video. His second skill is called Cloud of Spores. Miko will throw this little orb that will detonate on impact. It does, okay damage, but it's not the damage that you want, it's the effect. When it detonates, it will create this little cloud on the ground, and for the next 4 seconds, all enemies will be slowed inside it. That is excellent, that is great, and we will be augmenting that even further, just like Biosynthesis. We'll be augmenting that in the Helix loadout to be even more effective. His ultimate ability is called Fungus Among Us. Miko will deploy a mushroom. He will rip off his own head, and he'll rip off his own head, throw it on the ground, and for the next 45 seconds, that mushroom on the ground will generate a healing area, and it will heal all allies every second. It starts off at like 75 health, and it'll grow. It'll heal more as you level up Miko. And it starts off at 214 health itself. It has its own health bar, but that'll also grow as Miko levels up as well. It's a great ability. It can be destroyed though. It has its own health bar, so it's not guaranteed to last the 45 seconds. And you'll see me throw it down, and then it'll get almost immediately destroyed, at certain points in this video. So it's a fair trade-off. It balances it out. It would be broken if it could never be destroyed. Anyway, Miko's basic R2 ability, his basic standard attack, is he will throw kunai. He will throw 6 kunai before he has to reload, and then his passive ability is called Molecular Mycology. Miko's kunai, when they impact an opponent, they will deal 48 poison damage over the next 2 seconds. Pretty good, excellent, and we can even augment that even further once again in the Helix loadout to be relatively effective in groups. His L2 ability, his talent is called A Miko. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but Miko's L2 ability, if you hold it down, he will latch on to a teammate and generate a healing beam, and he will heal that ally for 52 health per second. And as you level up, you'll be able to heal more, and this is Miko's talent. This is one of the most notorious reasons Miko is effective on the battlefield, is to constantly be able to heal allies, follow them around, and just keep healing your teammates while they fight. Excellent ability, and that's all we're going to go over for his basic skill loadout. Now we're going to move on to his lore and background story. So the first thing you should know about Miko is that Miko is pretty much a spore or a bud that is from a planet-sized fungal organism called A Mycoloporia. It's pretty much this living planet, this living mold or whatever you want to call it. It's this fungal organism that is in its own sense alive and aware, it's sentient, and it is capable of generating buds that take on humanoid forms, and Miko is an example of one of these. Miko is pretty much nothing more than an extension of the planet, of the organism itself, Mycoloporia, and Miko, he or she or it, we don't know. I mean, Miko is pretty much at this point typically a gender, but I'm going to refer to Miko as a he just for the sake of simplicity. But he is technically an extension of this organism, of the Mycoloporia organism, and he shares a connection, a mental link. And you will hear him, whenever Miko talks, he doesn't refer to himself as I, he refers to as we, as in we are stronger, we are here to help, we need help, and so on and so forth, we feel better. So Miko shares a hive mentality. He doesn't think of himself at all. He's more concerned about what's best for the colony, in a sense kind of like an ant or a bee. What's best for the colony is what's on Miko's mind, not what's best for his own individual self. The next thing I'd like to talk about with Miko is his kunai. His kunai are grown from his body naturally, and he even covers them in his own special poison, as we covered in his skill loadout. However, he didn't always possess this ability. It is believed by the Eldrid Vigilant that after Miko had a violent and dangerous encounter with Deandy, from the Generate faction, he learned how to grow the kunai and throw them after a lethal encounter with her. So supposedly Deandy being able to throw her war fans taught Miko how to grow kunai and throw them as projectiles himself. So Miko has demonstrated some nice, highly adaptive features, and it's just one more thing I like about him: his ability to adapt to his surroundings and advance himself to further his own cause. Now, speaking of his cause, some people might be wondering why Miko chose to fight in the first place. Why is Miko the only representative of the Mikola Priya, planet, fighting in this war? And that's because that Miko understands, all of Mikola Priya understand that there is so much left in this universe that is undiscovered. There's so much wonder. There's so much yet to see that is yet to be seen. There's so much left in this universe, and they don't want to see it stamped out and darkened out by the Varelsi. There's much to be done. There's a lot more left in this universe that has yet to be seen, explored, and found out and discovered. And the Mikola Priya seem to understand that they don't want this universe stamped out, not only for their own well-being, but also for the sake of everything. The Mikola Priya seem to care immensely about everyone and everything in this universe. So they definitely have an inherent and immense level of respect for the concept of life and other beings and other creatures' right to life. So the Mikola Priya seem to want to help this universe survive, and they don't want to see it stamped out and turned into an eternal nightmare. The last thing I'd like to cover about Miko's lore is his relationship with Kelvin. He seems to have a very interesting relationship. They seem to be able to communicate in a way other than verbally. Like at one point, Melka was doing a report, an audio log, and she noticed that Miko was like melding or molding or something that involved Miko trading some of its stuff for Kelvin's stuff, and it kind of grossed Melka out because she didn't quite understand what Miko and Kelvin do and the relationship and the fact how they communicate. So it's relatively interesting. I'm pretty sure once I play Kelvin and unlock all of his lore and backstory, we'll be able to understand the relationship they have with Miko even better. But Miko and Kelvin definitely have a good, strong relationship and a strong level of respect for one another, and they kind of seem to be like good friends, kind of like how Oscar, Mike, and Montana are at least good friends, or at the very least on great terms with one another. I don't know if they understand the concept of friendship, but Miko and Kelvin are definitely have a good, strong bond, even for members of the Eldrid faction. They definitely share a close relationship, and I look forward to playing more as Kelvin to understand that relationship and learn more about it. And that's really all I've got for Miko's lore and backstory. And now we're going to move on to Miko's Helix loadout. And there's quite a lot to cover with Miko's Helix. There's a lot of different directions we can go, and I look forward to covering it with you guys, so let's get right into it. Okay, so right off the bat, level 1, I prefer to go with Breathe Deep to intensify the slowing effect of Cloud of Spores, just to make it so that our opponents are slowed even more. It doesn't extend the duration of the slow, it just means that instead of them moving, like 20% slower, they move like 40% slower. So it says 100% slow, but that means is that the slowing effect that it places on them is essentially doubled. It doesn't mean they come to a complete dead stop and they can't move. That would be too good. But I prefer Breathe Deep over First Responder, just because, you know what, we don't really need to work about that. We don't need to worry about moving real quickly while we're healing. So Breathe Deep I go with right off the bat level 1 every time. Now for level 2, this one is actually very flexible. Regenerative Aura is excellent because you can just, once Miko activates Biosynthesis, the healing that he receives is extended to all allies near the area. So if you and your allies are like playing incursion mode and you're trying to charge the enemy's base and the enemies are right around the corner and it's kind of a standstill, Miko can kind of hide in the corner right next to the wall, activate Biosynthesis, and all allies and even ally robots and minions that pass by Miko will gain a little bit of a healing buff as they go in. So it's really nice. Now Heal Thyself is also very good because once Miko activates Biosynthesis, his healing beam, while healing, he will also heal himself. So not only is he receiving biosynthesis healing, he's also getting healing from his healing beam as he heals his teammates. So it's excellent for keeping himself alive. Regenerative Aura is good for extending healing to allies. Heal Thyself is excellent for keeping Miko alive. So either one is up to you. If you have problems keeping Miko alive, you can go with Heal Thyself. If you want to keep your teammates alive a little bit better, go with Regenerative Aura. Now, level 3, depending upon what you want to do. If you want to play Miko in a more offensive manner, you go with Swift Draw for the reload speed for his kunai. That allows him to just keep up attacking, keep up the pressure. If you want to go more of a defensive role, you can go with Evolutionary Emergence or Plentiful Healing. If you want to be more focused on healing than combat and offense, you can go with Plentiful Healing or Evolutionary Emergence just to make it so that you can activate your skills sooner and keep your teammates alive. Now, level 4, this is amazing. Spore Shock. I cannot recommend this enough. Spore Shock is so damn good because it's offensive, it's defensive, and it's supportive. Miko is able to turn his Cloud Spores, and if they direct impact an enemy, they are stunned for 2 seconds. That is amazing. It is great offensively because you can use it on an opponent and stun them so that they're just a helpless sitting duck, and Miko can just pound away with the kunai. You'll see me use it here to finish off enemies, or to at least put them in a helpless situation where even when they recover, they can't get away in time. And you'll also see me use it defensively. You'll see me use it against Eldragon in this video. Eldragon will be charging me. I don't like this situation. I will immediately stun him, and then I run away. Excellent ability. I can't recommend Spore Shock enough for level 4. Now, level 5, I like to go with Pandemic just because Molecular Mycology's poison effect spreads to nearby enemies. So if a group of minions are walking by and you hit one of them with it, the poison damage, the 48 over 2 seconds, will extend to all the other minion robots in that little group. So it's excellent for, and remember, that's for every kunai, every poison that hits. And Miko has 6, so if you just spread them out and hit like one minion with 2 kunai, another minion with another 2 kunai, and another minion with the last 2 kunai, you'll spread out all that damage, very good and very fairly. You'll just really help dealing with ads. It's great for ad control. Not so much for enemy Battleborn, but it's excellent for ad control. If you don't want to do that, you can go with Toxic Transfusion. A portion of the damage dealt is returned to Miko as health. Hey, healing himself is also good. But any damage dealt by Miko applies Molecular Mycology poison effects as well, pervasive poison. So that means if he melees someone or if he hits someone with the spores, it'll also get the Molecular Mycology bonus damage as well. Either one is perfectly good, but I prefer to go with Pandemic just to help with ads and crowd control when needed. Now, right off the bat right here, I like to go with Probiotics just to increase Biosynthesis healing effects. I like to be able to heal myself, and not only that, but Biosynthesis self-healing effects. Unfortunately, it says self-healing. It doesn't include the effects of extending to allies. However, Healer's Oath is not too bad if you want to worry about healing allies. Increase the effectiveness of Miko's healing beam while Biosynthesis is active. So if you want, you can go with Healer's Oath or Probiotics. I never found a good use for Spore Strike, considering it doesn't do that much damage anyway, and it's the effect of the Cloud of Spores that we want, not the damage. Next up, once again, you can go with Fight or Flight if you want to go with a supportive or defensive position with Miko. If you want to go offensive, you go with Blade Slinger. Not only will you have the increased attack speed of 20%, Miko will throw his kunai 20% faster, but don't forget you also went with the increased reload speed, reduced 50% reload speed. So now Miko can attack faster and he reloads faster. So like I said, Blade Slinger is good if you want Miko to take a more offensive role in the battlefield. However, if you want to focus more on defense and healing, Fight or Flight is your go-to for level 7. Next, I like to go with Residency. For level 8, I like to increase the duration of Biosynthesis effects. So instead of it lasting 5 seconds, it lasts an additional 5 seconds. So it goes 10 seconds, which means regardless, that means your healing beam, regardless of the augment you chose for level 2, now you're just going to benefit more. Your teammates are either going to receive more Biosynthesis healing along with you for a longer period of time, or the healing beam will heal Miko even better and longer because Biosynthesis had its duration extended. So Residency is my go-to for that. Using the healing beam on allies reduces Biosynthesis cooldown. It's good, but there are some times, you can use it, it doesn't even say it has to actually work. So you can use that on an ally that has full health, and it should reduce the cooldown time. I've done it. I don't think they've patched it or anything, but it's pretty good. But I prefer Residency for just to increase the duration of Biosynthesis. That's just me personally. Level 9, I go with Resilient Strain. An extra 6 seconds of duration, that Cloud of Spores is excellent. Now you can go with Spore Storm to use it to cover like a choke point even better. You can use that. However, remember, it's only going to last for a couple seconds. I go with increased duration. That enables me to pretty much control certain regions or defend allies longer. So it's excellent because it means that our opponents are not able to run away as quickly. They're stuck in place longer. Resilient Strain does not matter if if it's a direct impact. They're still stunned for 2 seconds. It'd be broken if they were stunned for 8 seconds. That'd be way too good. But I like to go with Resilient Strain just because. Now for level 10, this one is up to you. You can go with Bark Skin to increase the health because the health of the Fungus Among Us is actually relatively low. But the additional health of 214 doesn't really help all that much, considering once you're at level 10, most enemies will be able to compensate for that additional 214 health with just 2 attacks, like Wrath or Wrath or Galileo or Phoebe. A few attacks and they'll take it out. They'll take out that additional health. So I like to go with the Vicious Strain, just to make it so that even if it's out for only 4 or 5 seconds, that's fine. That's good damage to all the opponents in the nearby area. So sometimes Vicious Strain can actually be a difference maker on a group of enemies or even a group of small adds, a group of small minions, while it heals your teammates. It's excellent in that respect. We Are Many, I didn't really find all that great of a use for, considering how the cooldown time was not reduced by a whole lot. It said 50% cooldown time reduction, but I didn't experience that when I was playing in Versus mode. I don't know if that's a story mode feature only, but when I used it in Versus mode, I activated Fungus Among Us, and the cooldown time was still, well past 30 seconds. So I didn't notice a reduction in cooldown time. So I don't recommend it. I prefer Vicious Strain personally. And that's it for my Helix loadout for Miko. You guys should have relatively good levels of success with this. And now we're going to go back to one more aspect. We're going to go over to his equipment loadout before we head back to the actual gameplay. Okay, so right over here, our equipment loadout for Miko is actually fairly standard, and it actually plays to 1 strength. Since he is an Eldrid faction member, he does not have his own natural overshield, so anything that says while shield is depleted, or minus shield regeneration, as a penalty reduction, those are inconsequential to Miko. You don't have to worry about stuff like that, so we're just going to play to that strength. So right here, we're going to increase Miko's maximum health. We're going to increase it by well over 400. That is going to be a good difference maker, and it's reasonably priced at $874. Next up, we've got the Sportsman's Massage Bots. An increase to heal power, a noticeable increase, even while the shield is depleted. We're just going to play to that strength, and we're just going to allow Miko to heal even better. This is his healing power towards others, not towards the healing he received himself. But don't worry, that's what this item is for. We're going to go with the Sportsman's Nanobot Transponder. It'll increase the healing Miko receives, once again, even further while his shield is depleted. So all 3 of these items play to that strength of Miko not having an overshield. It's excellent. Miko does not generate his own shield or overshield at all, so it's excellent for him. So we just play to that strength, and it just allows Miko to heal, receive his own healing even better, and to increase his maximum health, allowing him to survive better. And now that's pretty much all I've got. I've tried a variety of other items. You can also go with increased movement speed, and running speed to help Miko, dance around his opponents more if you want to go with a more combat-oriented approach. But if you want to go for the healer route, this is an excellent loadout. I've had a lot of success with this type of loadout. You'll see me use a variety of different items in this video, in this gameplay, but these 3 items, these 3 kind of items, one for healing received, one for healing power, and another one for health, you can't go wrong with Miko with that if you're going to choose a more defensive and healing approach towards your gameplay style. And now we're going to go back to the actual gameplay, and I'm going to go over my tips and tricks that I have found to use Miko effectively. So when it comes to playing as Miko, I've noticed that he is very good at a supportive role. He's capable of being used offensively, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for him offensively on the battlefield. I've died to a Miko player playing aggressively quite a lot. It happens. Miko is good offensively, but I prefer to use him as more of a defensive supporting role. You'll see me playing around with him, but right here, This is one of the reasons why I love the level 4 augmentation on the Helix loadout to stun my opponents. If I don't like a situation, I'll just stun someone and run away. But like I said, right here, I'm playing Miko in an offensive manner. I'm definitely not hesitating to attack. There are certain enemies you don't want to get into a one-on-one offensive engagement with. Wrath, Galilea, Phoebe, Eldragon, those melee characters can cause problems for Miko. Other characters like Toby, Isaac, or even Cleese to an extent, they are much more manageable. But then again, those characters aren't extremely good. I know I'm jumping the gun here. I haven't played as Cleese, and I've played a little bit as Isaac, and I haven't really touched Toby at all. But I know that they're not. Most people don't complain about those characters, But then again, Isaac did receive a bit of a defensive nerf, so Isaac might have been a problem had he been untouched. But as it stands right now, Miko is pretty good offensively, but I prefer to use him as a healer, as a supportive role. I like Miko running around, keeping my teammates alive longer than necessary so that they can win battles that they normally wouldn't have. I think that's what makes Miko outstanding. I think that's what he's designed for, and I just try to play to that strength. You saw it in my item loadout. That's the loadout I prefer to go for. I prefer to focus on Miko staying alive and then keeping him and his teammates alive through, healing at the right heals at the right spot. So, one other thing I'd like to talk about is combos. I mentioned that Miko and Umbra are a good combo to run around together because they're both capable of fighting and healing one another. But one combo I've actually grown to respect and kind of detest is Miko running around with Boulder. If you have a good Boulder player and the Miko that heals him is effective at staying alive and keeping Boulder alive, that tag team, oh my god, that can just be a headache and a half to deal with. I am not exaggerating. That can be a real big problem. So Miko is excellent not only at keeping all the team alive, but if you just want to run around and with a friend and just heal one teammate and just keep him alive, go for it. Miko's excellent at that. You're going to get a lot of assists with Miko if you play him correctly, if you're smart, and if you don't die a whole lot, you'll get a lot of assists. And that's really all I've got to say about Miko. He's a great supporter, a great assist, machine, and that's really all I've got to say about him in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. If you did, please don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, comment down below. If you have any other suggestions on other characters or you think I missed anything or good ideas, go ahead and put them down in the comments, and I'll see you guys all later in my next video. This is RadTech Shoe signing off.